that's quite enough of that really, isn't it? We'll go back to, let's go back to work. Okay, it's Rollback Friday. Well, I'm filming this on a Friday. Roll back because I'm rolling back the sheet on the maize clamp. I am going to be taking that off in a minute. I say roll it back, I'm going to cut it off with my knife and explore what's under there. But also, we're rolling back on the video, so we're going to have a look at us filling this clamp. When I say us, the contractor filling this clamp. So we cut this, now can I even remember what date I cut that? I'll have to have a look. It was October, I think, beginning of October. Now, I can't, all my dates are gone. I can't remember in my head whether I did it before we went on holiday, because we went to Rome, or whether we did it after we came back. I don't know. I'll have a look in my diary while I put this video up. But here's a little clip of us filling this clamp. There you go. So that's us filling the clamp. It took us a long time to get round to sorting this out properly, actually, I have to confess. So we've covered it with straw bales. I didn't bother covering this section because I put tyres on the front to stop it blowing up, but I thought, do you know what we'll do? We'll hack in there with the loader bucket, straight in there, take out a chunk of silage there, probably to that line where the bales are, and then I'll be putting protein, having it delivered in bulk and dumped there to feed with the silage. In the meantime, while I'm waiting to make that space, I've got these protein pellets delivered. They came in last week. These are protein pellets. They're nice little things. I just chuck in some of those in with the maize. Where's the sticky label? There, it's not a sticky label. I mentioned this before about how it's non-soya, which is quite interesting. It's got brewer's grains in it, rapeseed meal, palm kernel, sunflower meal, 33% protein, so a high protein mix. I'm putting this back in here, I don't know why, because I'm not going to look at it again. Oh, get in there. Right, so I've got 3 bags of this. This is just to see me through until I've got enough space. Got a bit damp on the top. I might have to cover it. I haven't covered it yet. It's not due to rain for a bit. So basically I'm mixing that in with the maize. It's not an ideal setup, you know, some people have a mixer wagon. This is a cheap and cheerful way of mixing your food. So the cattle have a self-feed silage. This to go in the ring feeders over the winter. It works for us. You know, all I can say is that anything with farming is what works for you. It works for us. I don't mind doing it like this. It means I haven't got to buy a feeder wagon. I haven't got to rely on another tractor tied up on a feeder wagon. But, you know, it only works in small farms like ours. It wouldn't work if you've got a big dairy unit with those barriers in the middle. Who knows? I'm not the future. I'm just rock and roll. I'm not rock and roll. I'm not rock and roll, am I? Oh yeah, baby. Right. I do say some daft stuff, don't I? Oh dear. Right, I'm going to get these tyres off and then we're going to expose this. I did have, I confess, a bit of a problem. I had a cow. I didn't film it because I wasn't here when it happened. Overnight, 2 cows climbed up on the top of here and they walked in. And it wasn't because we hadn't shut any gates. It was because one, for some reason, decided to jump over the stile back in the hay barn there, walk through the hay barn. Another one followed it, which is unbelievable. They've never done that before. Walked through all the way round. These gates were open. Walked round, and then overnight came in here, walked up this silage face like I'm doing, and look, you can see the footprints. So there's a mark of a hoof. I taped over that one because it went straight through. Look. Hoof-sized imprint there, hadn't ripped the sheet there, but I can feel under here that it's a bit squidgy, and I think, you see, it's just made, it's stretched the plastic. I don't think it's gone through on these, but you can, at the top it actually had a poo. It did put some holes in the back, and you can see where the holes are, that it's actually rotted the silage. And there were some holes here, they hadn't taped very well, so I don't know what state this is going to be under here. So we could end up with a bit of a mess. So I'm going to shift these tyres a minute, and then we'll cut this open. God knows what we'll find. Let's hope it's alright. I've got one load of tyres. I reckon that's 2 loads on there. 2 loads of tyres, and then we'll get the sheet off. Get your kit off. I'm getting the kit off on the silage clamp. I'm a pirate. Gloucestershire accent is a bit piratey, isn't it? I don't know whether any other accent. I think it's all Wiltshire. Somerset maybe? It's all a bit war, isn't it? I could probably do panto as like Long John Silver or something. War. And do you know what? It's quite funny actually. When I was younger, I used to sort of think, oh, I don't really like having an accent, you know, because you're sort of more self-conscious, aren't you? And you sort of think, oh, a bit embarrassing, maybe a bit Gloucestershire, and then. Now I kind of embrace it, and I kind of like the fact that I've got a bit of a twang and people know where I'm from. And do you know what, also as you get older you really don't give a toss what people think of you. I don't anyway. People either like you or hate you, and you kind of can't change that really, can you? You know, doing the YouTube thing's quite funny really, because people judge you because they look at you on your videos and stuff, and generally most people are really nice, and there's other people who just hate you, and I don't think you're going to change that. Every person out there who puts themselves out on YouTube is going to get a bit of hate from someone, I think. I'm very lucky actually, I have to say. Do you know one question I get asked all the time is, do I get a lot of hassle from people giving me abuse or anything like that? And I can honestly say I don't. I don't invite it. I don't hope I don't get any in the future, but I'm very lucky. People generally kind of seem to be very nice, you know, and every now and then someone sends me something which is really touching. I had I'll turn it off. I had some Christmas decorations sent me the other day. 4 little wooden Christmas decorations, handmade by a chap. He just said he watched the videos and he does this wood turning. I think his grandfather was a dairy farmer, and remember his grandfather was 135, 1968, which is the same year as ours. And he just said, I send you these as a little gift. And do you know what? That was so lovely. You know, I'm not, believe me, I'm not on here asking for presents. Don't, you know, that's not what I'm about. But that was just a lovely little, you know, thing that someone made the effort to send that, because I go out, I've gone off on the ramble now, haven't I? Sorry, I didn't mean, this is about silage. But I go out to you on video and I don't know who I see or who sees me or whatever, and every now and then it's nice to have something given to you or sent to you, or well, people just saying something. And do you know what, it's a lesson in life really, and I'm a firm believer in this, is if people are around doing things, it's worth just making the effort of going up to them and saying thanks for doing that, whether it's the guy picking up the bins or someone working in a little village shop or something. It's worth saying thank you to them, because do you know what, that means a lot really. I'm a firm believer in that, and I always try and do my bit. During lockdown I gave I spent quite a fair bit of money actually for all the staff in the local village shop. I bought them a bottle of wine at one stage each, and I bought them an Easter egg another time during lockdown, just to say thank you for all the volunteers there that so I don't mind talking about it now because it was 3 years ago, wasn't it? But I wasn't doing it to get recognition. I just went in there and bought ordered all this stuff and got it sent to the shop for all the volunteers. There's about 20 people, so they got something each, just to say thank you to them, you know. And that's what life should be about. People doing stuff should get thanked for it. And back to that, that's not what I'm here to say. I don't want any recognition. I'm just doing what I'm doing, all right? Anyway, let's get back on track. We got the last few tyres. This is Pirelli. Is it meat Pirelli? Pirelli calendars, they're better, aren't they, than Funky Farmer calendar. If any of you remember the good old days of the 70s when the world was not PC, you could get a Pirelli calendar. I don't know whether they still do them now. They were a bit fruity. They had attractive ladies on them, stretched out on, I think, with Pirellis. Actually, Veronica should do a calendar. Like, yes, loads of people have said to me Veronica should do a calendar. I don't quite know what Veronica would do with it in a calendar. It would probably dread to think actually, because if the Pirelli calendar was fruity, the flipping Veronica calendar would be flipping banned in 28 countries around the world, I should think, and probably end up with her being excommunicated by the Vatican and everything like that. Right, I'm rambling again. Right, let me move this bag of sand that we used to weigh this sheet down. Right, so I'm not going to feed this today. I'm just cutting it. Straw doesn't matter, because to be honest, if that mixes in with the maize, that won't matter because they'll eat some of that. It's only barley straw, so that'll probably blend in quite nicely actually. Right, let's set this up on this tripod and I can cut this open. Going in with a big cut. Got my knife ready. Are we off? Hi ho, it's off to work we go. It's all sweaty and horrible. I'm going to put my glove on. Looks a bit manky on the shoulders, but it would be. Yeah, it's all wet. Right, we're getting ready for the big reveal. Let's get this off here. Right, so, weird, there was some water running down from there. I'm not quite sure where that came from because there shouldn't be any water in here. I'm going to put my glove on again. It is a bit manky. Right, big sigh. It's in the afternoon, I've been up early, I'm a bit tired. Right, let's get this over here. Look at that. That's a cow's footprint there. Can you see that hole? There's probably a whole series of them up there. Not too bad under there. Let's get this out of the way. I'm trying to shake the straw off it because it's better left here. Alright, let's pull that out round the way. Let's go back. Let's go back. Going back to the 60s. Hear that jive. Right. What we got here then? So, I ought to take some more off really, shouldn't I? There's going to be some mank over there. I need to take another section off because this isn't going to last 5 minutes, is it? Just going to tip that. Let's get another section off. Right, that's enough sheet off now for well, next couple of days I think. I don't want to expose too much, it does tend to start going off a bit. Like I said, this is the sheet, this is the area that hasn't been covered very well, and I think the air's got in there. Look, it's a bit black, I can see some black there, don't look so good there. Shoulders are always bad, that big loader cannot get in too tight on there. We got a plan for next year. Harry's going to go on the 135. We're going to clean it off. We're going to have it sussed for next year. We're going to go on the 135 up and down here with Harry, as long as it's not too steep. And he's a very steady. Not that he's ever driven a tractor before, but I believe he might be a very steady driver, because he'll be 13 then. So obviously he hasn't been driving before then. And anything you think that might look like Harry driving is just CGI, as you well know. So we'll roll that a little bit. Like, if we just look closer, you can see it sort of starts going a sort of mildewy, mouldy bit there. That's no good for the cows. You can see that. And that's just where it just cannot get enough, you know. Fair play to the guys on the loader. This is quite a difficult shed to do because you've got the obstruction there. Look, that's actually sticking out further from the wall. So you can't get very tight in with your loader there, and the size of the vehicle now is very difficult. So a 135 just to do a bit of rolling there, probably do the job really well, I think. Right, so let me just go and tip these, and then I'm going to dig some of that out and chuck it in the bucket, because that's junk, that is. And to be honest, we're only just getting on top of the jobs now the cows have come in, because as I well explained to you before, once the cows are in, there's so much more work, and what I've found is we've had to, you know, when the cattle come in, we have to rejig everything where everything's stored. We have to finish off the maize clamp, what we're doing with that, and, you know, finish putting this stuff on and try and live as well. Very important to remember when you're running a farm is to live, as in take time out with your family and stuff. I know very much that farming is a never-ending job, and certainly the older generation, I think, we're very much like we just work till it gets dark. Well, that's not harder than this time of year, is it? But you can spend too long on the farm if you're not careful, because it'll eat you. It'll eat you. You wouldn't. There's never enough time in the day. You will never finish. You never finish. You never finish. I never finish. It's like, although I finish technically when I go inside, I don't. There's always something else, the paperwork or anything. So you've got to give yourself enough time, really, for yourself. Don't get eaten by a farm, otherwise you'll have a breakdown. And you want to keep your wife. You want to keep a wife and kids, really, if you can, if you've got them. Who am I to give advice? I'm only a happily married man with 2 kids, so I don't know much about life. I know one thing, the best thing you can do with your family is to sit down for a meal with them round the table, if you can, with your kids. And that's not so easy when you've got teenage kids, because they're all doing different things and stuff like that. But I have to say, some of the best conversations I ever have with the kids and the wife is when we're sat down eating and we just chat. And once you finish the meal, you can carry on that chat. Whereas if you try and nail a couple of kids down and your missus any other time, usually there's something going on, and it's like one of them's doing something else. And so if you can get a meal down together, I think that's important, really. And we do have some of our best laughs, actually. Can you imagine, you know, if you sit down with Harry and you got Jack chipping in and me and stuff, some of the stuff we say, right, we do have a really good laugh, actually. I think it's just, well, like most families, really, isn't it? You just take the mickey out of each other and do all sorts of stuff. And download your day. That's what I always do. I always ask the kids how their day's been and what they've been up to, and always ask Sam, same thing. This is a ramble video, isn't it? Rambling over ground, underground free, rambling here with Funky. Do 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 do. The funky farmer does ramble on. Right, let's cut. Let's get back to work. Look at that. That's a big lump of dried up mank. Oh, I've exposed it now, look. Thankfully this is only this corner, but look at the steam, it's heated up. This is all disgusting stuff. It's quite dry on that bit. It's just solid mould. Look, just mouldy. That's not unusual. It's not. That's no reflection on the process of preservation or the sheeting or anything. That's just sure where you can't get in to compact it enough, and the air is amongst the silage, so it will do that. A bit like if you let air on cheese. You know, it's in a vacuum pack, it won't go mouldy. Once you let the air around it, it starts going mouldy. This is a bit like that with that. If it's not compressed down enough, you're just going to get mould on it, which is why you see all these guys pushing the air out when they're rolling. Rolling, 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 roll high. Rolling, 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 the maize. And that's quite enough of that, really, isn't it? We'll go back to let's go back to work. You might tip this, and I might actually skim some of the top of the maize with the loader bucket, because I think where I haven't sheeted it down, there is actually quite a fair bit of mould on the top. So I'm just going to chuck that. What I do is I'll dump it for the cows. Probably think, what was he doing there? Well, what he was doing was dumping the worst of the maize, but not really anything that I was worried about the cows eating. So I've done this before. Basically, if you can either, there's two options: either you can just chuck it straight in the slurry lagoon or out on the muck spreader, whatever, you straight back on the land. It'll do its fertilizer if it's really bad. Or if you're in this case, there's the top bit on there was a bit mouldy, but there was quite a lot of good stuff. I was too lazy to spend flipping 2 hours digging it all out. So what I've done is I've chucked it down there for the cows. And what they'll do, they're quite clever cows. They won't eat the crap. They'll pick through it, and when in the morning, what'll be left there, I can just scrape. So they're quite fussy cows. If you give them silage that's got a bit of rot in it, they'll eat round that rot, and the rot will just stay there. They won't eat it. And it's the same with that silage, they'll pick through the good bits and they won't touch the mouldy stuff. I would have thought 90% of that will still be there tomorrow morning. And you can see there that a couple of them have cleared off already. Look, one there, look, it's like, you come back. That one there seems quite keen on it. She's having a good old nibble. But the rest have all decided, look, she's having a fight. The rest have gone back to the silage clamp, look. I thought they would. Hello, are you having a kiss? I can hear a helicopter. I think there's going to be a big get ready, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a big chopper in a minute, and it ain't going to be mine. Where's this big chopper? It's going to come over the farm any minute now. It's over about there. Where is it? There it is. Oh. Look at that chopper. You've probably realised by now, if you've watched any videos of mine, that the big chopper does appear occasionally. And that one there is a regular, it's either those tornadoes or 2 or 3, I think they're Chinooks actually, go by quite often in 3s. They must be on a flight path here, going across. I quite like seeing them actually. It's kind of, I don't know why, I say reassuring, but is that reassuring to see a military vehicle? You might think it's going to start a war. Right. Let's have a look at this then. I'm going to put 5 of these in here. This is going to be for tomorrow morning really. So 5 lots of protein, in it goes. There we go, simple mix with the bucket, just tip it up a few times. I'm going to carry on taking some mouldy silage off of here. We'll put this out in the morning, but in the meantime, crack on, as they say. I'm going to carry on working. I can see bits, I need to just go over this whole lot. That down there, that's not satisfactory. I'm going to just dump more of that. The cows can have that today. They're gonna carry on picking over the bits I discarded, and then so my plan is our first load of maize will go out tomorrow morning into the ring feeder. So there we go. Right, see you in the morning. Morning, 6:30 in the morning. I'm out here in the farmyard, just about to scrape. I can see I'm out of focus. Hello, I'm out of focus. Probably because the camera doesn't like the dark light. I'm just going to scrape out where I put that maize last night. Look, can you just about make this out in this blurry camera angle? That's where I chucked the maize last night. The cattle are pretty well picked over it. It's all mucky and I've still got my milking gloves on. So, let's turn around in the light. I'm going to scrape all that out, and then I'm going to put the first bucket of maize out for this year. Crack on. that's the scraping done. Got a lovely clean yard there. That's a bit better, isn't it? So, I'm going to put my first load of maize out this year. First of many, tons of it to stick out for the cattle. Oh, it's still a bit dark, isn't it? I hope you can see me alright. Cracking on with the maize. Oh, yeah. No, we don't want that because we'll get done for copyright. Bit of funky music in the morning gets you going, but if I stick that on here, someone will get me in on the naughty step on YouTube. And as I said before, I would love to put funky tunes on some of my stuff, you know, but as soon as you get involved with anything that's registered pop music, you get all sorts of problems with copyright, which is understandable, I guess. If you know, in the same way as someone rips my work off and uses it, I'm not happy unless they acknowledge me or say thank you or something. But if they just, you know, that's like the same with music. If you start using someone else's stuff, they've worked hard to create that thing. Something you don't really think of, isn't it? Creativity. It's not a thing you can sort of nail down sometimes, but if someone comes up with an idea that no one else has thought of, you've got to think no one else would have come up with that. Right, I'm rambling again. This is a ramble video, really, isn't it? Let's tip this out into there. That's it then, that's 2 loads in. That's it for this morning. I will be putting more ring feeders out later, so we'll be feeding more of this. So there we go. There's my maize clamp opening video, yesterday and today. Crack on everyone, have a good breakfast because I'm off for mine. Well, not yet, another 3 hours. Alright, cheers. Oh, get out of the way.